choosing a daily routine for my future classroom was really difficult because I thought they were all very powerful, especially the math journaling, because she said that someone might prefer to share their thinking orally with others, whereas others need time to record their ideas and reflect on what they have described. I was one of those students who needed time to reflect, and I didn't really like to share my ideas orally. So that I thought math journaling was really a smart, powerful routine to implement. But the one I thought that was most powerful was the calendar activity, especially if you're a first grade teacher, because you could ask so many different questions within the calendar activity routine that addresses not only their foundational skills, but math standards of first grade. For example, how I do it in my future classroom is I would first bring the students down to the rug, and I would have them read the date, and then I would add 3 days, and I would say what would be the date then, and I would subtract a couple days or maybe even more depending on how ready they are, and ask them what the date would be then, and that helps them do addition and subtraction. And in addition to that, I would have a pocket chart of how many days they've been in school. Say they've been in school for 158 days, and then I would have the number 100 in the pocket chart, written 100, and then underneath that I would have the word 100, and then 50, and then the word 10's underneath that, and then the 8 and then 1's underneath. So they're learning place value. But what I'm really trying to do is I would have a model of some sort. Say it's 10 groups of 10 straws, and have them count by tens, 10, 20, 30, all the way to 100, because they're required to count to 120, starting at any number less than 120. That's one of the standards, NBTA 1. And then, so we count on the hundreds, and then we count by the tens by the 50s, and we'll count by ones. We could also count by fives. It just depends on the date and how much time or whatever we want to do, and whatever model I had. So that's that. Through that activity of saying we have 158 days, we connected it to their real life idea and then they connected it to a math concept. And then finally, after that whole thing, could you ask one last question that requires them to subtract? I could say, oh look guys, yesterday we had 22 days left of school, and now how many days left? We're one less day. How many days? And then I would have the students discuss the problem, and then I'll eventually have them answer the question to me. So through this one activity, I asked multiple questions. I addressed several different standards, and I reinforced some of their foundation skills of counting and adding in kindergarten. So that's what I decided in my daily routine. Thank you for listening to my video, and I welcome feedback.